I want to talk to you about the seven types of surcharges that you can really expect to have if you are considering actually a credit card processor this year. Okay. And it's important to understand that surcharges actually come in different forms based on different needs specific to your business. So your business might have a different surcharge than my business, and also the location has to play an important role. The location, and the third element to take into account is your type of customers. Okay, so here are the types I want you to pay attention to. First of all, you have fuel surcharges. So if you are a merchant, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a small business owner, fuel surcharges are going to add a lot to your bottom line, either through the cost that you are passing on to your customers, or through the cost that you're paying yourself as a merchant. Okay, so a fuel surcharge is actually an extra cost charged by a shipping, trucking, or aviation company to help cover the constant rising and falling of the cost of fuel. And fuel surcharges are actually directly proportional to the cost of fuel. And so what happens here is that there is a correlation. Okay, so those costs increase when fuel costs increase, and vice versa. So you have a direct correlation there. And the main purpose of the fuel surcharge is to help those companies remain profitable. If there was no such fee, fuel prices will eat into their profits when they increase, and fuel surcharges don't fully cover the fuel cost. Okay, they simply make the prices more manageable to them. Also, some shipping companies apply the fuel surcharge while others don't. Companies don't apply it. Okay, if they are, let's say, a bigger company, and then they are able to hedge. Okay, so like they have contracts that actually span several years in advance. Okay, so there are a few factors that affect fuel surcharges. For instance, you have crude oil prices, you have government regulations. Government regulations affect the fuel surcharges a lot, and you have the market environment. So basically, the whole economy will affect fuel surcharges big time. So market conditions such as geopolitical landscape, economic fluctuations, and supply and demand situation also affect fuel surcharges a lot. Okay, for instance, when there is a high demand, let's say there is a high demand for fuel but a low supply, the prices surge dramatically, meaning they also affect the surcharge rate. And similarly, regional instability or economic downturns upset the fuel market. So the second surcharge that you need to really pay attention to if you are a merchant, and this is actually a credit card surcharge. Okay, so some people refer to credit card surcharges as checkout fees and merchant surcharges, but the concept is all the same. Think about it. So generally, a credit card surcharge is a fee a business or merchant chooses to charge customers who prefer using credit cards over cash, right? It's all about making sure that how much the card networks is charging, the merchant is passing it on to customers. So merchant levy this fee to cover the processing fees associated with credit card transaction processing. So credit card surcharges came about in a 2013 class action settlement between businesses and credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard. And until this point, credit card processing fees had been charged to businesses and merchants when a customer paid using a credit card or a debit card. Okay, so if the settlements like in the settlement, it was agreed that the processing fees may be passed to the customer. So you do have some kind of transfer of expense there. So the surcharge structure allows businesses to charge as much as 4% to credit card payments. However, the amount varies from businesses to businesses and is based on the card type used to complete the transaction. Okay. So, but on average, credit card surcharges in last year varied between 1% and 3.5% in most U.S. states. So this is something to really think about. Now, one thing you need to understand here is that some U.S. states and territories don't allow credit card surcharging. So you have Massachusetts, for instance, they don't allow that. you have Connecticut, and you also have Puerto Rico. And so this is really good. You also have some legal regulations surrounding credit card surcharges, okay? Something to really keep in mind. And one thing I want to say is that when it comes to credit card surcharges, you need to have a full disclosure of surcharge before transaction, no debit and prepaid card surcharges, surcharge listed on receipts, and a 30-day prior notice. So this is something to really think about. So you also have peak surcharges. So if you think about the surcharges that you need to be aware of if you are a merchant, peak surcharges are really quite essential too. So there are peak and low seasons in business. The peak season is characterized by high customer demand, which leads to high shipping volumes. So a peak season surcharge is a shipping cost charged on the regular shipping fees or base freight rates where there is a high activity in the shipping network. So it's actually a temporary freight rate only charged during peak seasons to help shipping companies balance the supply chain, manage capacity limitations, and meet the increased operational costs that come with surges in shipping demand. Okay, and peak seasons when e-commerce shipping is higher can actually vary from region to region based on the region's holidays. For instance, if you are, like, say, in China, for instance, the Chinese holiday season doesn't have the same sort of peak season as the what we have in the U.S., like in November, December. Okay, and also those peak seasons may vary based on the industry. Okay, there are some. Let me give you a few examples of peak seasons. You have the holiday season. I just said it, October to December, and this season experiences a high demand for consumer goods as people prepare for the Christmas and New Year holidays. Shipping companies get busier during this season. You have a retail sales event late November. So retail stores have promotional sales, traditions like Black Friday and Cyber Monday every year where they sell their products at highly discounted prices, leading to a surge in shipping activity. And this season marks the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. You also have back to school season. So that's actually late July to early September. So an increased demand for stationery, school supplies, and other items for universities, colleges, and schools also increases during that season, and that leads to an increase in shipping activity. And you also have seasonal agriculture, and this depends on the region and crop. So planting, spraying, and harvesting sessions lead to increased demand for agricultural products, and agricultural seasons vary since different seasons and different crops have different seasons. So something to really keep in mind. You also have shipping surcharges. If you think about the types of surcharges, think about shipping. So shipping surcharges are additional fees charged on top of the base shipping charges. They are also called accessorial fees or accessorials, and shipping and logistics companies charge them as handling fees or service charges. And shipping companies have different shipping surcharges to compensate for different factors and services that go beyond the shipping services. And these factors include expedited delivery, weekend delivery, oversized packages, fuel price fluctuations, delivery to remote locations, and seasonal demands. Now, note that there is a difference between a shipping fee and a shipping surcharge. A shipping fee is the base fee that a carrier charges to ship goods from one location to another. On the other hand, a shipping surcharge is charged on top of the shipping fee to actually meet factors or services beyond the basics. So let me give you an example. Let's say your e-commerce business wants to ship a Bluetooth speaker to a customer in a remote location outside the standard UPS routes. Okay, UPS will charge a typical shipping fee plus a shipping surcharge called the delivery outside service area fee. They might even have an additional surcharge to cover the cost of additional fuel. Shipping fees vary based on package size, weight, and destination. On the other hand, shipping surcharges are actually fixed rates. So, in terms of the shipping surcharges, you have to think about residential delivery surcharges. This is really big. You have oversized package surcharges. You have address correction surcharges. You have Saturday surcharges. And you have delivery area surcharges as well. So if you're looking for the types of surcharges, I also want you to think about foreign transaction surcharges. So this is actually important. If you are a merchant, you need to really think about it. Now, one thing for sure, if you have ever made a credit card transaction to a business outside the US, you will notice that the bill was a bit higher than usual, right? Foreign transaction surcharges are probably the reason why you had to pay more. So, foreign transaction surcharges or FX fees are fees charged by credit card companies for transfers or purchases made outside the US or in another currency apart from the US dollar, okay, the USD. So, these fees help credit card providers and banks cover the cost of converting one currency to another. And the currency conversion process involves a series of various financial processes, such as currency exchange and cross border transaction processing. And so these processes incur cost, especially if you have a high volume of transactions. And these fees vary depending on the credit card company or bank's terms and conditions. So if you are with a bank, make sure that you've talked to them about that and you're comfortable about those fees, okay? And so those fees are charged as a percentage of the transfer amount and typically fall between 1% and 5%. So the average foreign transaction surcharge rate in the US is actually 3%. And the fees usually split into two network fee and issuing bank fee. So if you think about the network fee, this is actually also referred to as the currency conversion fee. And the fee is charged by the credit card provider like Visa or a MasterCard and is usually 1% of the amount. So what happens here is that the card networks are making sure that they're getting compensated for processing the fee in a non-US dollar currency. So that's for the network fee, and the fee applies to all foreign transactions regardless of the type of credit card. And you have also the issuing bank fee. So the fee goes to the credit card issuing banks such as Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, or PNC, or Truist, or US Bank. Okay. Some banks charge a fee of around 2%, while others don't have a fee at all, especially if you have a credit union. Some credit unions are pretty lenient in terms of the fees. So that's something to really think about. So there is an impact on international travelers and online shoppers, okay? So be aware of those. So now, of course, you can avoid foreign transaction surcharges. Use credit cards without foreign transaction fees. Use a checking account or a debit card without foreign transaction fees. Use an ATM card that refunds ATM fees. And convert the currency before leaving the US. Next, I want you to think about regulatory surcharges. So if you think about surcharges to account for as a merchant, you got to think about the regulatory side of things. And so those regulatory surcharges are also called sometimes government imposed surcharges. So those are additional fees that a business passes on to its customers to cover costs associated with regulatory compliance, law enforcement, and funding of public programs. Okay. So businesses use regulatory surcharges to fund the cost of complying with different regulations, such as safety regulations, public health, environmental protection, and infrastructure maintenance. And the surcharges prevent those costs from eating into business profits. Okay. So this is kind of cool. And now let me show you a few examples of regulatory surcharges that businesses in different sectors actually charge. I mean, maybe in your industry you don't have it, but other other businesses have it. So, so For telecommunication, the Universal Service Fund, the USF, is a surcharge on phone bills to support universal access to telecommunication services. The 9/11 Emergency Service Fee is used to fund emergency response systems. Businesses in the telecommunication sector may pass on this cost to their customers. Okay. You also have environmental. So businesses in the environmental sector have to pay recycling fees on products like tires, batteries, and electronics to fund property waste disposal methods and recycling programs. You have transportation. So airlines may impose airport improvement fees on tickets to fund airport development, improvement, and maintenance projects. Trucking companies may have toll fees which are levied for highway maintenance and improvement. And you also have a utility. So businesses in the energy sector pay energy efficiency surcharges, which are charged to fund renewable energy programs and energy efficiency projects. Okay. So there are also water infrastructure fees levied on water bills to ensure a safe and reliable water supply. So this is really cool from a flexibility point of view. Lastly, I want you to really also think about convenience fees, okay? And so any business operating in this day and age has to accept credit card payments due to their popularity. But if you think about it, accepting them can be expensive, right? So this is where, sorry, convenience fees actually come in. So if you think about convenience fee, what you're thinking about here is that you have you have a cost, an extra cost that a business passes on to its customer who actually pay using a credit card or a debit card. Let's just say a payment method that's outside the standard form of the typically accepted methods. Okay, so basically, most standard payment methods for businesses include cash, check, and automated clearinghouse transfer, ACH transfer. Those call for no extra cost. Okay, so the most common industries that apply convenience fees include entertainment industry, travel industry, and the financial sector. So when I say financial sector, I mean I'm speaking about banks, credit unions. Sometimes they may have convenience fees to deliver efficient services like secure funds transfers, swift swift wire transfers, and after hour assistance. In the travel industry, convenience fees actually apply to services like online booking, baggage handling, and seat selection. Travel agencies, hotels, and airlines charge this fee to cover the expenses that some of that actually come with providing convenience options to the customers. And in the entertainment industry, entertainment venues like movie theaters are likely to charge a convenience fee for tickets bought through online booking. Those fees help the venues invest and maintain an efficient e-ticketing platform and ensure a seamless online ticketing experience. And that's really good for customers, and that's good for the business too. So that's a win-win situation. Now there are some factors influencing convenience fee rates. So you have cost recovery, market demand, customer preference, and also unique value proposition. So you have to understand that there are different rules and guidelines when it comes to the credit card company. So you have Visa having a different model than Mastercard, Discover, or American Express. Okay, something you really think about, especially if you have a high transaction like a high transaction volume. So as a recap, in today's conversation, I spoke to you about the seven types of surcharges to really expect this year: fuel surcharges, credit card surcharges, peak surcharges, shipping surcharges, foreign transaction surcharges, regulatory surcharges, and convenience fees. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.